there are some that are born quiet. There are some that are born loud. There are some that are born leaders but lead from behind. There are some that use soft power. And there are some that you cannot measure just by their physical appearance. And tonight, ladies and gentlemen, it is my greatest honor to introduce our next speaker who is going to make a statement, who is like an icing on the cake for all statements that has been made tonight. Of course, we get the better one when they come after. But this one will not permit me for make a talk, and because, ladies and gentlemen, my personal person, my big brother, when I am down, broken, don't understand my work, what I'm doing, what I'm supposed to be doing, I call upon him. And the things he will say to me, okay, calm down. Tell me step by step, what's the problem? Text that to me and then I'll go respond to you. Ladies and gentlemen, a man that serves with quiet strength, soft power, a man that leads from behind, a man that his simplicity can be taken for granted. Please help me with a standing ovation, our next speaker, Mr. Amara Kalon, the Minister of Administration.
Thank you, Madam Moderator. Thank you very much, my younger sister. It's an embodiment of the values of sisterhood. Thank you very much. The Honorable Chief Minister, colleague ministers and deputy ministers present here, members of parliament present here, the Secretary to President and a mentor, Mr. Baba Fortune, the leaderships of the Public Service Institution, the heads, the chairman of the Public Service Commission, the Secretary to Cabinet and the head of the Civil Service, the Director General of the Human Resource Management Office, the Director of the Public Sector Reform Units, the Chair and the Board Head of the Wages and Compensation Commission, my brother, elder brother and mentor, the Deputy Minister of Public Administration and Political Affairs, Honorable Philip Tetema Tondune, the Inspector General of Police, the Director of Security and Operations of the Sierra Leone Armed Forces, Major General S.D.T. Gauje, the Director, United Nations African Institute for Economic Development and Planning, IDEP in Senegal, our distinct permanent secretaries present here today, heads of departments and agencies, our distinguished and distinct public service awardees, our development partners and the diplomatic corps, our most respected and soul-blazing public servants present here and still at work doing the business of the day. Distinguished guests, esteemed colleagues, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. Hello, Sierra Leone. Sweet Sierra Leone. Hello, Sierra Leone. Sweet Sierra Leone. Wow. Thank you, Mr. Moderator, for that outstanding introduction, my sister. Honorable Chief Minister, thank you for being with us here today to represent His Excellency the President and for your devotion to our country. We are grateful, Mr. Chief Minister. Ladies and gentlemen, we are here today because you believe we can. His Excellency recognized then, as he does today, that our nation cannot achieve sustainable development without a capable, professional and responsive public service. Honorable Chief Minister, our President has showed courage and statesmanship in calling for the revamping of the public service architecture of Sierra Leone. It was not an easy decision for many of our past leaders but taking into consideration the various governance landscapes that have plagued our public service. the footprint of colonialism. 5 successful military coups in this country. 21 years of one-party states. 5 successful democratic elections. And 2 successful transfer of power from the incumbent to the opposition. Each of these landscapes have their scars in our public service. Globally, the digital and technological disruption and revolution, the geopolitics, the youth bulge, and the mainstreaming of women in decision-making have a great influence in how we deliver services to our citizens in this era. But His Excellency was bold enough to call for a holistic approach to the reform of our public service. That's why we are here today. And thank you, Mr. President, wherever you are, for this inspiration. To my colleague ministers present here, thank you for showing up and supporting me and my team to be where we are today. We have agreed to disagree in cabinet meetings. We have agreed to disagree and disagree to agree in our quest to make a meaningful change in the way we do things. We committed ourselves as ministers to doing things differently, and it is showing glaringly in our various sectors where we are as accounting officers. To the leadership of the public service, Mr. Keoba, Prince Cole, Dr. Ansu Toka, Mr. Mohamed Dabo, which we call as British Dabo, Mr. Baba Fortune, Dr. Emmanuel Gaima, Dr. Victor Masakoi, and Cyrus Sharif. We started as mates, and now we ended as families. We have struggled and argued between ideals and practice, precedents and rules, intergenerational approach, and systemic and systematic fundamentals. And will not be here today without you, and we are grateful. Madam Karima Ben Sultan, the Director of IDEP, welcome to Sierra Leone, and thanks for answering my call to support the transition of the Civil Service Training College to the Public Service Academy. Sierra Leone is grateful. It's for meaningful output. Thank you for being with us and putting your resources at our disposal on the reform agenda. To our public servants, who have worked with us since the reform began 3 years ago, I cherish our partnership together and all we got to accomplish together. Suleiman Fure Musa, can you please stand up? The Director of the Public Sector Reform Unit. Ladies and gentlemen, when we say we reform institutions, when we say ministries, their mandate is to provide the political and strategic leadership for their different sectors. And you have those departments and agencies to provide the technical support. That testimony is between me and Fure Musa. Thank you for your steadfast partnership for the past 3 years. The least I say about Fure Musa, the better. Thank you very much, my brother. Honorable Chief Minister, today is not merely about presenting awards. Today is about telling a story. Today, we gathered not merely to present awards, we gather to celebrate a noble calling. We gather here today for the first time to recognize men and women whose dedication, sacrifice, and commitment remind us why public service matters. Our nation is built every single day by ordinary people doing extraordinary things in service of others. It is built by the nurses who stays behind her shift because a patient still needs care. It is built by our doctors who answers the emergency call when everyone else is asleep. It is built by the teachers who spends evening preparing lessons because she believes or he believes that the future of a child is worth every sacrifice. It is built by the police officer, standing guard while families sleep peacefully. It is built by the soldier who misses birthdays, anniversaries, and precious moments with loved ones because duty calls. It is built by the immigration officer protecting our borders, and the prison officer maintaining order, the firefighter rushing towards danger when others are running away from it. It is built by the civil servants who report to work every morning, often without applause, but with a commitment to serve. It is built by politicians who skips holidays. Behind every government policy, there are public servants working quietly, patiently and diligently to make it real. And behind every nation that progresses, there is a public service and a public servant strong enough to carry the dreams of its people. It is about ordinary people, Mr. Chief Minister, doing extraordinary things in service to their country. And tonight, we honor those individuals. Congratulations to all of you. You know, too often, the work of public servant goes unnoticed. Success is expected. Sacrifice is assumed. Yet, behind every policy implemented, every community reached, every service delivered, there are dedicated public servants whose names may never appear in headlines, but whose impact is felt in the lives of citizens every single day. Tonight, we say we see you, we appreciate you, and Sierra Leone is better because of you. So as we commemorate the World Public Service Day for the first time in the history of this country, we are reminded that government is not buildings, government is not documents, government is the people. It is the collective effort of committed men and women who choose service above self. That is why recognition matters. Because when excellence is celebrated, excellence is encouraged. When integrity is rewarded, integrity becomes contagious. And when dedication is acknowledged, it inspires others to give their very best. The award recipient before us today represent the very value we seek to build within our public service: professionalism, accountability, innovation, patriotism, and unwavering commitment to citizenship. You are proof that excellence is possible. You are proof that one person can make a difference. And you are proof that public service remains one of the greatest instruments for national transformation. But tonight is not only about celebrating achievement, it is also about inspiring a new generation of public servants. To every young officer beginning their journey, let this awardee serve as an example. To every institution striving for improvement, let these stories that they are going to tell today remind us that reform is not an abstract concept. Reforms happen when individuals choose excellence over mediocrity, service over selfishness, and integrity over convenience. Our nation stands today at a defining moment. The government of His Excellency, President Julius Maada Bio, has placed unprecedented emphasis on public sector reform and has demonstrated the political courage to create for the first time in our history a dedicated ministry responsible for transforming the architecture of public administration. Under his visionary leadership, we are undertaking bold reforms to modernize and reposition the public service to meet the demand of the 21st century. But institutions alone do not transform nations. People do. Policies matters. Structures matters. But ultimately, progress depends on the character, the competence, and commitment of the people entrusted to serve. And that is why each one of us has a role to play here today. Let us continue to build a public service that citizens can trust. Let us continue to promote excellence over entitlement. Let us continue to place service above status. And let us never forget that the true measure of leadership is not how much power we possess, but how many lives we improve. And I quote from a Facebook post by one of my landed brothers, he's not here today, Yusuf Keketoma Sandi, the press secretary to the president. He says, and I quote, he said, as I reflect on my work over the years with President Bio, I am reminded once again that public service is not something you claim by title or position. It is something you earn through the trust of people who watch what you do as well as what you say. He says service is a privilege. Once granted, never taken. One renewed every single day through humility and the kind of work that lifts others before it lifts you. He said, but I also knew another truth. Even when you give your very best, some will still ask for more. Some will doubt. Some will question or expect beyond what you can give. And he said, yet, you should remind yourself that this too is part of service. It is not a burden meant to break you. It is called meant to shape you. To our award recipients, congratulations again. You have made your institutions proud. You have made your families proud. And you have made Sierra Leone proud. May your example inspire countless others. To those who may not receive an award tonight, please know that recognition cannot capture every story, nor can one ceremony honor every sacrifice. We will broaden the scope. We will broaden the altitude. We will broaden the latitude for the next awards. We will look at MDAs. We will look at the grading system. We will look at job families and the different arms of government. There are countless heroes across our public service whose contributions remain unmeasurable. This celebration belongs to all of you, because every public servant who serves with honesty, professionalism, and compassion contribute to the building of our nation. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Chief Minister, as we honor these remarkable men and women, let us also renew our collective commitment to building a public service that is competent, accountable, innovative, and people-centered. Let us continue to create institutions that reward merit, celebrate excellence, and inspire future generations. Let us remember that public service is not merely a career, as was said by Madam Sultani. It is a calling. It is an act of patriotism. It is love for country expressed through service to others. And long after position change and names fade from memory, the impact of service will continue to remain. The schools we build remain. The lives we save remain. The peace we protect remain. The nation we strengthen remain. May our dedication remind us that public service is not simply a profession, it is a responsibility. And may we all live here tonight, renewed in our commitment to serve with integrity, humility, and excellence. Because when public servants succeed, citizens benefit. When citizens benefit, communities prosper. And when communities prosper, nations rise. Together, let us continue building the Sierra Leone we all believe. May God bless you all, and may God bless the Republic of Sierra Leone. Thank you very much.
Continue clapping. Continue clapping. It is not easy for one to be given a responsibility. It is not easy for one to take upon that responsibility and act upon it. It is also not easy for that person's responsibility to yield result as we are gathered here this morning. One more time, ladies and gentlemen, a resounding round of applause to our minister, Amara Kalon. All right. There's a saying that our people say, or it is said all over, all work and no play. I know I look like they're hungry. All work and no play. Me na Korea side this morning. All work and no play. I know Silban and a salad date this morning. All work and no play. Well, Fambulde, we have come to the point, the place, the avenue, the platform where culture gets to be represented. And I, taking upon myself as the face of culture and salon, princess of this land, let me start by invoking the gods of the land. Aye, 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 Papa Shekibin say, who said and tie cow? Na day for it. But when Marabio come, now I say, not outside and tie cow for it. When you lose the cow go with the hope say go come back. Na lie? Whether we believe it or not, President Bio has proven beyond every reasonable doubt. Say you know they tie cow, you know they tie goat, you know they tie sheep. Because we all wait in a cabinet, we all in a public servants and a different animal. Some they behave like goats, some na sheep, some na rata, some na tortoise, some na snake, some na camel. You look left, look right before you cross. Well, fumble them. Sit tight because I am not going to be dancing today. My mother told me that I am grown, that I am above the age of taking my heels off and be dancing like a crazy person. So I am giving it, passing it down to a younger version of me. Ladies and gentlemen, this young girl is not only phenomenal in her presentation, she's one of our finest young traditional performers. Help me welcome Lady Esther. Una clap, celebrate salon culture. You see, Chief Minister step ready, dress like Milty Magai this afternoon. Come on, Sierra Leone, let's keep clapping. The same song, please. The same music. He only get 5 minutes, and I'll not wasting time.
Hello. Just a brief statement. This song is not just a song. It is a song of thank you to all the wonderful soldiers here today. Whether you are a civil servant or a military person, you work so hard, tirelessly, day and night. Social media has its own, but still keep pushing. It is not easy to satisfy you, man, but still push. To all the sleepless nights, we appreciate you. As a student and also entertainer, I want to say we thank you. So this song, I don't perform for the man them. No, we come for the woman them. However, we came from a lovely and hardworking woman them. So it doesn't have a barrier. DJ.
Let's go, girl.
Sasa. Rock the field, just presenting you, sweet mother. Sweet mother, I not gonna forget you for the suffer where you suffer for me. Sweet mother, I not gonna forget you for the suffer where you suffer for me. When I dey cry, my mother go carry me. She go say, my pikin, wetin you dey cry, yo yo. Stop, make you no cry again, no. When I want sleep, my mother go bed me. She go lie me well for bed. She cover me cloth, say make you sleep, my pikin, oh. She not dey tire, sweet mother. I no go forget the summer where you suffer for me, yeah. Sweet mother, yeah. Sweet mother, oh, yeah. Oh, sweet mother, I will never forget you. But the summer you suffer for me.
Thank you. Thank you. That's enough waiting. I'm not because I want bossy around though. I want to let you know, say we see you inside your uniform. Touch your company, tell her, say I don't serve. And I deserve to be honored. Even when they're not going to call me up here this afternoon, But Adea. So now we win. My chief minister can sing, you win and me win. So where this person win, now for celebrating win, so you win go can next time. Okay? All right. I have just been told by today, my boss for today, that the peace ambassador is here to perform. Our own Shady Baby is in the building. A whole lot of us love this young man. I remember in the US, I had the privilege to record with him. And his first time to visit in America, we were struggling. His pronunciation with water, and my pronunciation was water. And he was asking, I want water. I said, Naya, so then say water. I said, Mama, na isa bisalona de akomo na water I want. Is he here? Well, we not get time for waste. We go hold them off. We dey continue, and then we go come later. We dey save the best for the last. One of the things that I'm very happy about this, is it afternoon? Yes, just now afternoon, is that I get the privilege, the honor to introduce my boss. Ladies and gentlemen, being a public servant, our stories are not just our stories, but they are the stories of so many. And when we hear these stories are to inspire, impact, and drive a change in our lives, in our sectors, in wherever we find ourselves. So a little backstory of who I'm about to introduce tonight as our keynote. 2018, I met a gem. A gem with dreads and red socks. A gem that loved, this was his work. But now, he's a brother, a father, a son. So many of us love him. He has impacted my life personally. I remember when I met him in the corridors of New Jersey in 2018, we were talking and I said, at the time he was the education minister, and I said, I want an opportunity to come to Sierra Leone to talk to the Minister of Tourism because I like tourism. I was just going off and on and off. And he said to me, Madam, what exactly do you want? And I said to him, and he asked me what my qualifications were, and he asked me what I did, my dissertation on. We talked for a long time. And this man put his hand in his pocket and said, I believe in who you are. He made me popular as a designer in America because this was a man that loves clothes, he loves fashion. He's a designer himself. But then His Excellency did not only see a gem, he saw a diamond, a raw-cut diamond that everybody can say, that is man better not. But President had the wisdom, the vision to see beyond all of that and made him our chief minister. One that has not only represented himself, a brand, a nation, a country, its people, but one that continues to inspire, impact, and push the lives of so many. This young man has been called the best, has been given the Best Minister Award in 2020, and has also been given the world's best minister. But apart from that, this man is a man of culture, where he sits and creates, just like me. He go design, he go make your own socks, they go make your own wine. But then when you see him, when it comes to corporate affairs, he's a ball game. Ladies and gentlemen, it is a privilege and an honor to present to you my brother, one that I don't talk to so much outside, but he knows go way back, and I am appreciative of who you are. Do not stop. Never stop. Amidst the noise, know that you were born to do what you're doing and teach us the way to get to where we need to be at under his legacy of President Bio. Ladies and gentlemen, my Chief Minister, your Chief Minister, Dr. David Moinina Senge, as he delivers the keynotes.
Thank you very much. I would like to begin by conveying warm greetings from His Excellency, the President, Dr. Julius Maada Bio, who due to unavoidable official commitments cannot be here this afternoon with us today. The Big Five is central to public service delivery, and he sends his sincere best wishes. Minister of Public Administration and Political Affairs, Ministers of Government, the leadership of the public service, members of Parliament, heads of MDAs, development partners, distinguished, retired and serving public servants, members of the diplomatic and consular corps, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. Yesterday when I spoke here, I told you that I was speaking on my own behalf. Today, I will speak on behalf of His Excellency, the President. I am truly deeply honored to join you in commemorating the United Nations Public Service Day, a day set aside globally to recognize the invaluable contributions of public servants and to reaffirm the central role of public institutions in promoting sustainable development and improving the lives of citizens. This occasion is particularly significant because for the first time in our nation's history, we are formally recognizing and honoring distinguished retired and serving public servants whose dedication, professionalism, sacrifice, and commitment have contributed immensely to nation building. It is the first time we are celebrating this World Public Service Day since it was set aside and established by the UN in 2002. To all the award recipients and to all civil servants and public servants, I extend the gratitude of our President, our government, our children, and our nation, and want to congratulate each and every one of you for your service. Through your service, you have demonstrated that patriotism is not merely expressed through words, but through integrity, hard work, commitment, and selfless devotion to our country. Many of that never gets seen. Most of it go unrecognized. Ladies and gentlemen, when His Excellency President Julius Maada Bio campaigned on his second term for presidency in 2023, he made a solemn commitment to transform and modernize the governance architecture of Sierra Leone. He recognized then, as the visionary that he is, as we do now, that no nation can achieve sustainable development without a capable, professional, and responsive public service. It is for this reason that the revamping of public service through its entire architecture occupies a central place in our national transformational agenda. This reform is captured as one of the 5 big pillars of the Big Five game changers in our medium-term National Development Plan 2024 to 2030. To make this reform work and have the strong political will and backing, the President established the Ministry of Public Administration and Political Affairs and the Ministry of Communication, Technology and Innovation, charged with the mandates to provide the political and strategic leadership for the reform of the public service. This initiative was not accidental, it was deliberate, it was strategic, and above it all, it was necessary. Our objective as a government is to reposition Sierra Leone's public service to effectively respond to the changing realities of governance and the growing expectations of our citizens. Over the decades, our public service has been influenced and challenged by numerous systems, policies, and historical circumstances. And while many dedicated public servants have served our country with distinction, the institutional framework within which they operate has not always provided the necessary conditions for optimal performance. It has not evolved as rapidly as society has evolved. Indeed, since our independence in 1961, Sierra Leone has not undertaken a comprehensive and holistic reform of the public service architecture aimed at repositioning it to deliver effective, efficient, citizen-centered services as quickly as it is doing within this short period of time. We are changing the trajectory, not just of today, but for the future of our children. Our vision is built on accountable, inclusive, innovative, and professional public service that places citizens at the center of governance and service delivery. Ladies and gentlemen, one of the most significant milestones in the journey is the development of Sierra Leone's first ever Public Service Act. For decades, public service administration in Sierra Leone has operated without a comprehensive legal framework governing the entire public service under the Public Service Commission. And you will know that as part of the ongoing constitutional review in Parliament, the public service is one of the critical chapters that is being considered in our Constitution. But today, on behalf of His Excellency, I'm pleased to announce that the Public Service Bill has been drafted and nationwide consultations are currently underway to ensure that all sectors and stakeholders contribute to the development of this landmark legislation. When enacted, this act will provide a modern legal and institutional framework for regulating, coordinating, and managing public service institutions in Sierra Leone. It will become a historic legacy, not for the SLPB, not for President Bio, not for the government of President Bio, but for the future generations of Sierra Leone. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, institutional reforms require institutions that are fit for purpose. That is why our government has embarked upon one of the most extensive restructuring exercises ever undertaken in our public administration system. To date, 43 management and functional reviews have either been completed or are currently underway across ministries, departments, and agencies. These reviews are intended to clarify mandates, eliminate duplication, strengthen organizational structures, and position institutions to deliver services more effectively and efficiently. This process is fundamental to building a modern state capable of responding to the needs and aspirations of our people in this century. Ladies and gentlemen, good institutions require clear rules. I'm also therefore pleased to announce that the Civil Service Code's regulations and rules have been comprehensively reviewed and approved by Cabinet. This achievement provides our civil service with a codified framework that promotes professionalism, discipline, accountability, and ethical conduct. It establishes clear standards, systems to centralized and modern digital human resource management systems. Currently, data for civil servants are being uploaded onto the platform, and this exercise will subsequently be extended to all public servants across government. The Government Human Resource Hub has been specifically designed to streamline personnel management and improve workforce efficiency. This platform represents a major leap towards evidence-based human resource management and improved accountability. Ladies and gentlemen, human capital development remains at the heart of our reform agenda. And recognizing the importance of continuous learning and professional development, government has commenced the transition of the Civil Service Training College into a world-class, state-of-the-art public service academy. Following a comprehensive management and functional review of the Civil Service Training College, a clear transition and operational roadmap has been developed. If you pass by State House, you will see that the building itself was broken down and rebuilt into something that looks extremely modern. A comprehensive curriculum review has been undertaken, leading to the development of a dynamic and forward-looking curriculum anchored on 3 strategic pillars: digitization, innovation, and career progression. Furthermore, the site development plan has been completed, and I commend the Ministry of Land, Housing, and Country Planning for allocating 100 acres of land for the construction of a public service. Over 100 middle and senior level civil servants have benefited from overseas scholarships and specialized training opportunities provided by our partners in India, China, Kenya, Rwanda, and other institutions around the world. On my way from Rome over the weekend, I bumped into several of them who were coming from Korea, where they had gone to study public service and digitization. I was very surprisingly pleased to see them come up to me to thank His Excellency through me for having created the link when he visited Korea a couple of years ago. Distinguished guests, transparency and meritocracy are essential to public confidence. For the first time in the history of Sierra Leone, applications for recruitment into the civil service through the Public Service Commission are now conducted digitally. This means you don't have to leave your home in Pujang, you don't have to leave your community in Falaba. As long as you're qualified, as long as you're able to go online on your phone using 3G, which is available to nearly 100% of the population, you're able to apply and be considered for a job in this country. This represents a significant step toward fairness, accessibility, and efficiency. And for the young ones, some of us are getting older now. For the young ones, long gone are the days when they will disappear your application paper based on the last name when it goes into the system. Now everything is online. Ladies and gentlemen, leadership must begin at the very top. I'm therefore also pleased to announce that the development and institutionalization of a standalone code of conduct for ministers and political office holders is on the way. When we speak about accountability, it's not just for the permanent secretaries or the DGs, it is for all of us. This framework will strengthen ethical behavior, accountability, integrity, and transparency within and across government. Public trust is built when leaders themselves are held to the highest standards of conduct. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, The establishment of the Wages and Compensation Commission was driven by our commitment to promote fairness, equity, and consistency in the remuneration system across the public service. Its primary mandate is to harmonize salaries, wages, and compensation structures across grades and institutions within the public sector. You know, people like to think that ministers get a lot of money, and the ministers who sit here don't like us to announce their salaries, because every day they push for getting something that is fair, and every day the permanent secretaries and the DSs are pushing to get something that is fair, and every day the cleaners are pushing to get something that is fair. And instead of leaving it to some singular person to make that decision, His Excellency the President, in his wisdom and with advice from the leadership of the public service, established the Wages and Compensation Commission to do this fairly and equitably. This exercise is critical to ensuring that everyone's remuneration framework is transparent, equitable, performance-oriented, and aligned with the broader objectives of public service reform. When the Secretary to the President said yesterday that many people will leave in the private sector to join the public service, we know that they are not doing it for the salary, but we at least want there to be some respect to the salary and the paycheck when they do choose to join the public service. So I do want to, on behalf of His Excellency, urge the Wages and Compensation Commission and the technical team to accelerate this process so that governments can fully realize and implement the gains of these reforms. Reforms in other sectors such as the judiciary, elections management bodies, the security sector, who are all ably represented here at the highest levels, the educational sector, and the health sector, are all geared and aimed at the vision to build an accountable, inclusive, innovative, and professional public service that places citizens at the center of governance and service delivery. Ladies and gentlemen, the success and sustainability of these transformative reforms will require collective ownership and sustained investment. I therefore call upon our development partners, the Ministry of Finance, and all MDAs to continue providing the financial, technical, institutional support necessary to drive this agenda forward. We need everyone to work together. Public service reform is not the responsibility of the President or any singular institution. It is our national responsibility, a national undertaking that requires collaboration, coordination, and commitment from each and every one of us. I urge the Ministry of Finance to prioritize and adequately resource these interventions within our national budget framework, while encouraging our partners to align their support behind this bold vision. And we want to thank our partners at the UN for extending their own support. Together, we can create institutions that are responsive to the needs of our citizens and capable of delivering the aspirations of every Sierra Leonean as embedded in our medium-term national development plan. None of these reforms would have been possible without the dedication and commitment of our public servants and our partners. The success of our development agenda depends fundamentally on the quality of our institutions and the people who serve within them. To our retired public servants, your years of sacrifice lay the foundation upon which today's progress stands. To our serving public servants, I continue to thank you for your service, and I urge you to embrace innovation, professionalism, and accountability. The future of Sierra Leone depends on each and every one of our collective commitments to excellence. To our development partners who are working alongside the Ministry of Public Administration and Political Affairs, the UNDP, the World Bank, the EU, IDEP, APRM, the Indian High Commission, JICA, Chinese Embassy in Sierra Leone, and more. I thank you on behalf of the government for your support and kindly urge and encourage you to work with the ministry and all of its partners within government in helping us achieve the great vision in making Sierra Leone a middle-income country by 2039. Over the last 2 days, we came here with a question: what is being done? Let us continue to put Salone first. And to the distinguished men and women receiving awards today, I congratulate you most sincerely on behalf of His Excellency the President. You have served our nation with honor. You have inspired future generations, and your names shall remain permanently written in the history of Sierra Leone's development. May God continue to bless all our public servants. May God continue to bless the people of Sierra Leone, and may God continue to bless all of you and your institutions. I thank you very, very much.
Keep clapping. Thank you, Pastor. One of the most popular young men when it comes to supporting. He's always punctual, always present, and they tell you give way. Your Excellency, our Chief Minister, our Prime Minister, we're very proud. Thank you. Thank you for representing His Excellency. Thank you for representing our nation. Thank you for representing who you are. And thank you. As Father's Day just passed, thank you for showing up for your girls and every other girl that is watching. Can we give him a round of applause? I'm about to sound like Charlie Afner. Hey, hey, me people, them. When I was going to continue on, ladies and gentlemen, the moment that we have been waiting for is here. The Air Force One has landed. Myself and Mr. Fore Musa, we traveled to the United States of Sierra Leone to source for the best, handpick the best, bring to you the best, present to you the best for celebration. The Air Force One is packed outside, and the jewels and the gem that we got is here in person. And so what is about to happen is we're about getting ready for our celebrants to receive their awards, our awardees. With that being said, help me welcome Mr. Suleiman Fore Musa, the Director of the Public Sector Unit, to come and take over from there.
Thank you, my dear sister, Deputy Minister Khadijatu Grace. You have handled well, and we are moving well. Ladies and gentlemen, I have the opportunity to bring to stage on behalf of His Excellency, the President, the Chief Minister of the Republic, who is coming up. Ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of the Planning Committee, we request the presence of the Minister of Public Administration to please come forward to stand by him. Today there are many surprises, but quickly, as they are preparing, can you give us a sound quick?
Sweet Shalom, this is where I call home. Salon, sweet salon. But my heart is always grown. Salon, sweet salon. Where the diamonds and the gold shine like the souls of the people. Salon, sweet salon. Oh, Mama Salon, with a sweet, sweet cologne. For the boys on the road, I see Sierra Leone, and she's so close to my heart.
All right, thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, our criteria for selecting the best of public officials hinges on just 5 points. 1, length of service and quality of service. 2, integrity and professionalism. 3, leadership and impact. 4, innovation and initiative. 5, national development contribution. And 6, finally, exemplary conduct. Ladies and gentlemen, today we have identified 2 distinguished personalities for the very special award this morning, and they cut across sectors. As I read their citations, ladies and gentlemen, you will know that these men and women have dedicated their life, their sweat and blood to the nation of Sierra Leone. For our special award goes to this morning Alhaji Bebeli Mara. Alhaji Bebeli Mara, please wait, stand there, was recruited into the civil service in 1973. He provided support to the Secretary to President. He has spent 53 uninterrupted years serving over 16 secretaries to President. He has been the longest serving civil servant at State House. During his illustrious career, he worked in Parliament for 7 years before returning to State House. Alhaji Bebeli Mara expressed his profound joy to have dedicated so many years of his life to public service as a civil servant. Although he officially retired in 2009, he was recalled to continue serving. He has been recognized by successive presidents as the oldest serving staff member of State House, including former President Ernest Bai Koroma and now President Julius Maada Bio. Mr. Mara noted that he has been an honor and privilege to contribute to the service of his country. Ladies and gentlemen, Alhaji Bebeli Mara. Let's continue to clap for him, please. Round of applause for Alhaji Bebeli Mara. Ladies and gentlemen, please be seated. Ladies and gentlemen, our second special award is going to a lady, Mrs. Marilyn Yaminde Bun-Sanusi. Mrs. Marilyn Yaminde Bun-Sanusi commenced her distinguished career with the Sierra Leone Ports and Harbour Authority in 1983. Thereafter, dedicating 43 years of exemplary service spanning for more than 4 decades to the advancement and stewardship of the Ports Authority. Over the course of her tenure, she served with distinction in successive roles ultimately attaining the esteemed position of Principal Executive Secretary, a testament to her professionalism, excellence, and trustworthy place in her by the institution. Her wealth of experience, combined with an unwavering commitment to duty, made her a profound, enduring contribution to growth, transformation, and operational success of the Sierra Leone Ports and Harbour Authority. Mrs. Boom Sanusi has spoken of her years of service as both deeply rewarding and profoundly enriching, a journey true and true. She leaves behind a legacy marked with meaningful reform, quiet leadership, championing improvement, and nurturing, mentoring the next generation. She just retired last Saturday. This is Boom Sanusi. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, there is a special award here, and it's a surprise. The man that we are going to award this special award was born in Kabala, Konedugu district. He's a distinguished public servant, an agricultural development specialist, whose career reflects a steadfast commitment to rural transformation and governance reform. He is educated at Roman Catholic Primary School, Kabala, and Kabala Secondary School. He went to earn a diploma in agronomy, a Bachelor of Science in Agriculture, and Master of Science in Rural Development from Jala University. Entered public life in 2012 as a project associate with Innovations for Poverty Action, and progressed through positions and increasing responsibilities as monitoring and evaluations officer. He rose through the ranks, demonstrating his ability to performance. In 2018, ladies and gentlemen, the President appointed this gentleman as a Deputy Minister of Political Affairs, Deputy Minister of Political and Public Affairs. In 2023, he was entrusted with the stewardship of a newly created Ministry of Public Administration and Political Affairs. This man had led reforms. He's leading reforms. Ladies and gentlemen, the Minister of Public Administration and Political Affairs, Honorable Amara Kalon.
Your Excellency, the Chief Minister, it is only due that we give honor to whom it is due. On behalf of the legacy of His Excellency, Building Transformational Leadership, one of the book, my 10th book that I wrote called Different Kind of Power, is also being presented to our honoree this afternoon as he can add to his archive of leadership teaching. And so I present it to you.
Ladies and gentlemen, I have been specially requested to hand over this particular award to Mr. Fiestin Bokari. Please stand. This award is presented to Ambassador Dr. Julius Fofana Sandi. Ambassador Julius Sandi is a distinguished career civil servant, accomplished academic and seasoned diplomat, whose service to Sierra Leone spans the highest echelons of public administration, institutional governance, and international representation. Over the course of his distinguished tenure in public service, he has held several most consequential offices in Sierra Leone national administration, among them Secretary to President, Secretary to Cabinet, Head of Civil Service, Director of the Public Sector Reform Unit, Director General Human Resource Management Office. In each role, he demonstrated an unwavering commitment to institutional excellence and principled reform. Dr. Sandi has served as the technical lead and chairperson for the Joint World Bank and Government of Sierra Leone Institutional Support Project, where he provided strategic oversight. By presidential appointment, he assumed the role of Chancellor of the Eastern Technical University, serving as the institution's founding head with academic dedication. Ambassador Dr. Sandi currently serves as the Sierra Leone's High Commissioner to Nigeria and ECOWAS, representing his nation with a gravitas. Ladies and gentlemen, this award is presented in absentia to Dr. Ambassador Julius Fofana Sandi. Ladies and gentlemen, our next award goes to Mr. Kalilu Oba, Chairman, Public Service Commission. Mr. Kalilu Oba is a veteran Sierra Leone civil servant of exceptional distinction, whose career spanning provincial administration, ministerial leadership, and national commissions constitute one of the most comprehensive records of public service in the country's history. Mr. Ba gained his career in the civil service as an administrative officer, subsequently serving as Assistant District Officer in Kenema, District Officer in Bond, District Officer in Kwanadugu, and District Officer in Puloko. A series of provincial postings that gave him an intimate and unrivaled knowledge of governance at grassroots level. His transfer to Freetown marked the beginning of his ascent to the most senior echelons of the civil service, where he served successfully as Deputy Secretary and Permanent Secretary in many ministries, departments, and agencies, providing administrative leadership, coordination, and implementation. Mr. Keoba led the trade liberalization of this country in the Ministry of Trade and Industry. Mr. Keoba is the only Sierra Leonean that has served twice as Director General of the Defense, the Ministry of Defense. He served twice as Director General, and the most notable chapters of his life. By appointment by His Excellency the President, Mr. Keoba today serves as the Chairman of the Public Service Commission, a role which he continues to play with distinction, leadership. Today, ladies and gentlemen, I have the privilege in our life to see this man who have seen various dispensations. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Kalilu Oba. He's a very young man. Very, very young man. Thank you.
Uncle Keoba, please permit me. My father is no more, but you've held my hand through the years of my service. I hand over that to you as a mantle from a father's daughter to another father. Thank you for the great work that you do.
Ladies and gentlemen, when the Secretary to President was on stage, he paid tribute to the people that mentored and guided their path in the civil service. Today, we are honored in our midst to recognize the contribution of Mr. Emmanuel Bresford Oshoba Koka. Mr. Emmanuel Bresford Oshoba Koka devoted 46 years and 4 months of exemplary service to the civil and public service of Sierra Leone from December 1971 to April 2018. He began Change, please. Change. He continued his illustrious career as an assistant secretary. He steadily ascended through the ranks to become permanent secretary, subsequently senior permanent secretary, serving with conspicuous ability across a number of government institutions. He held the constitutional position of development secretary and establishment secretary. And, sorry please, can you go back? They are in order, please. Go back. My friend, get up. All right. So I've been asked to continue whilst they sort that out. Mr. Brestford was the senior permanent secretary, serving with conspicuous ability a number of government ministries. He held constitutional positions of development secretary and establishment secretary in 2001. Under the supervision of the Ministry of Presidential Affairs, this Oshoba Koka, established the Public Sector Reform Unit where I am serving today as director, becoming the first coordinator and director, a founding contribution that has shaped the trajectory of public service modernization in Sierra Leone. Crowning his achievement of his career came in September 2008 when he was appointed secretary to the president, the most senior administrative position in the machinery of government, a position he occupied with diligence, discretion, dedication until his final exit. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Brestford Osho Koka. Can we please rise to celebrate this man, public official, civil servant, a man who has served this country. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, we have come to a very important moment. Our next awardee is Mr. Baba Brima Fortune. Baba Brima Fortune is one of Sierra Leone's most accomplished and enduring public administrators, whose career spans for 3 decades, standing as a testament to excellence, institutional loyalty, principled service. Having joined the public service in the early 90s as an assistant secretary, he rose methodically through the ranks of attaining distinguished positions of permanent secretaries, accumulating along the way an unparalleled breadth of experience across the range of government ministries and institutions. Among his most notable postings was his tenure as permanent secretary as the Ministry of Lands, Country Planning and the Environment, where he provided senior administrative leadership and contributed significantly to public sector coordination. He further served as secretary to the vice president, supporting coordination of executive and interministerial operations with characteristics, intelligence, diligence, and discretion. In June 2025, His Excellency the President, Julius Maada Bio, appointed Mr. Fortune as Secretary to the President, the principal administrative coordinator of the Office of the President, a role in which he ensures the seamless flow of communication between the Presidency and all government ministries. Having served 5 regimes with distinction, Mr. Fortune is widely esteemed as one of Sierra Leone's foremost senior administrators. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm privileged to bring to you the Secretary to President, Mr. Baba Brima Fortune. Ladies and gentlemen, another young gentleman who has grown through the ranks we are awarding today is Mr. Mohamed Brima Dabo. Mohamed Brima Dabo is the substantive secretary to the Vice President, Republic of Sierra Leone. He was appointed by His Excellency the President in 2025. He's a career civil servant, a senior technocrat in the civil service, having previously held major leadership roles, including Director General in the Ministry of Defense, Permanent Secretary across multiple ministries, Secretary to the Vice President. Mr. Dabo provides administrative leadership and strategic coordination to the Office of the Vice President. He holds a BA Honors in Political Science. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Mohamed Brima Dabo is in absentia with the Vice President in the United Kingdom. But we saw it as a need to award him today in absentia. Mr. Mohamed Brima Dabo. Ladies and gentlemen, wow. This special award, it's not a special one, is going to the head of civil service and secretary to cabinet, Mr. Prince E. Okol. Mr. Prince Cole was appointed Secretary to Cabinet and Head of Civil Service by His Excellency the President in June 2025. He is the administrative head of the civil service and provides leadership in coordinating government ministries, departments, and agencies. His office also supports cabinet decision-making, and implementation of government policies. As Secretary to Cabinet and Head of Civil Service, he occupies one of the highest administrative offices in Sierra Leone. Mr. Prince Cole is regarded as an accomplished civil servant with more than 3 decades of experience in public administration. Mr. Prince Cole joined the civil service as an administrative officer. Due to his dedication and hard work, he ascended the civil service ladder to the position of Senior Permanent Secretary. He served permanent secretaries in many ministries, departments, and agencies. He holds a BA General degree from Florida Bay College, MSc in Rural Development from Jalal University, Masters in Public Sector Management from JIMPA. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me welcome on stage Prince E. Okol, Head of Civil Service and Secretary to Cabinet. Ladies and gentlemen, this award is going to someone in recognition of more than 3 decades of exemplary, transformative service of the civil service. Since entering the civil service in May 1993 as an administrative officer in the Establishment Secretary's office, he rose steadily through the positions of increasing trust, Senior Assistant Secretary in 2000, and Deputy Establishment Secretary from 2005 to 2008, where he oversaw discipline, leave retirement, and pension administration across the entire civil service. Ladies and gentlemen, this gentleman was appointed Director General of the Human Resource Management Office in April 2008. He has led the modernization of civil service administration with vision and resolve. His tenure is defined, above all, by a landmark 2024 revision of the Sierra Leone Civil Service Codes and Rules, the first comprehensive update since 2011, which introduced a 30% minimum quota for women on recruitment panels, 14 weeks of statutory maternal leave, robust whistleblowing protection, and nationwide training for hundreds of public officials, all delivered in close partnership with the Public Service Commission, the European Union, and other development partners. A scholar as much as an administrator, he has published on several public sector management and contributed to the World Bank and European Union program evaluations. He holds a BA and MA from Farabe College and MSc in Public Administration from IPAM. He has just recently graduated from doctoral studies in business administrations at Paul's in Paris and Business School in Paris. His distinctions include the honorary fellowship from the International Professions Managers Associations and Administration, in testament of a career well defined by integrity, intellectual rigor. Ladies and gentlemen, I have the privilege to bring to you Dr. Ansu Samuel Tucker, Director General of the Human Resource Management Office. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, our next awardee is Mr. Faye William Faye Selu. Mr. William Faye Selu was appointed by President Julius Maada Bio on the 27th July 2002 as Inspector General of the Sierra Leone Police. He is responsible for national policing, crime prevention, public safety, and police reforms. William Faye Selu joined the Sierra Leone Police Force in 1993 as a cadet officer. He has spent 33 years serving the police force. He has served in various leadership roles, including Director of Crimes, Criminal Intelligence Services, Regional Police Command South, Local Unit Commander, including Godrich, Kisi, Kenema, and Bo West, Commandant of the Police Training School, Head of Security at State House, and Chief Security Officer to former President Ahmad Tijan Kaba for 7 years. He has served as Contingent Commander with the United Nations Peace Mission in Darfur for 3 years. In 2008, Mr. William Faye Selu attended a strategic leadership training at Botswana Police Academy. He holds a bachelor degree in arts, in geography and linguistics from Jala University. He has been recognized for leadership and service within the Sierra Leone security sector. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. William Faye Selu, Inspector General of the Sierra Leone Police. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, the other award goes to Lieutenant General Amara Aidara Bangura. Lieutenant General Amara. I know. Lieutenant General Aidara Bangura spent 33 years of his career serving as a military officer, protecting the country's territorial integrity our boundaries, the government, and the people of this country. He was commissioned into the Republic of Sierra Leone Armed Forces on the 18th September 1993 at the Nigerian Defense Academy in Kaduna. He was appointed Chief of Defense Staff in November 2024 by His Excellency, the President Julius Maada Bio, to serve as the professional head of the armed forces and responsible for military administration and operational control. He has served in several senior military leadership positions, including Commander, 4th Infantry Brigade, Chief of Staff, Headquarters Joint Force Commander, HQ, Deputy Chief of Staff, HQ, Director of Military Operations, Ministry of Defense Commandant, Peace Mission Training Center, Chief Instructor, Hunting Academy, and Assistant Chief of Defense Staff Operation and Plans. Lieutenant General Aidara Bangura is a battle-tested commander with international pedigree, as he served in the United Nations African Union mission in Darfur, Sudan, as a movement control officer. He has vast experience in military operations, defense and planning, command training, and strategic leadership. He is absent, but is ably represented this afternoon by his Chief of Staff, Chief of Army Staff, who is here to represent him to receive this award. Lieutenant General Aidara Bangura is here represented for the Army Chief of Staff, who will be taking the award on his behalf. Ladies and gentlemen, our next award is going to Ambassador Sule B. Darami. Ambassador Sule Darami is a distinguished Sierra Leonean diplomat and public sector leader of considerable experience, recognized for his sustained contribution to foreign affairs, diplomacy, capacity building, and professional development of Sierra Leone's foreign service. Over the course of his career, Ambassador Darami served as Director General of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, where he coordinated the administrative and operational functions of the ministry. As Ambassador at large, representing Sierra Leone across a wide range of diplomatic and international engagement, he played a formative role in developing diplomatic training and capacity building systems, strengthening foreign service professionalism and protocol standards, and supporting the modernization of the foreign service. He currently serves as the Executive Director of the Foreign Service Academy, where he oversees training programs for diplomats and staff of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and other government agencies. Ambassador Sule B. Darami is widely regarded as one of Sierra Leone's most C. Koroma. Ambassador Dr. Kona Koroma is an accomplished public servant. She holds a PhD in political science with development management bias from Flora Bay College, University of Sierra Leone, Masters of Business Administration with specialization in business policy and human resource management. She had had an illustrious public service career spanning for 22 years, of which in leadership roles such as Permanent Secretary, Development Secretary, and recently Presidential Advisor and Ambassador at Large. Ambassador Kona Koroma was the first female officer to hold the position of Permanent Secretary in the ministries. Let's clap for this. In the ministries, in the Ministry of Tourism, the then Ministry of Trade, Industry, and State Enterprises, the then Ministry of Local Administration and International Affairs, Ministry of Works, the then Ministry of Economic Planning, and the longest development secretary from 1999 to 2008. From 1999 to 2008, Dr. Kona Koroma has served as development secretary and overseen the post-conflict emergency reconstruction and development phase of Sierra Leone, returning our country to normalcy. Her contributions to Sierra Leone post-conflict recovery is remarkable. She was also part of all critical institutional reform processes. Ambassador Kona Kroma was a key participant in the privatization program. Ambassador Kona Kroma technically supervised the establishment of Hotel and Tourism Training Center, now a component of the Milton Magai Training University, the National Tourist Board, and the Sierra Leone Export Development and Investment Promotional Council, now SLIPA. Ambassador Kona Kroma has vast experience in donor coordination and donor promotion. She technically managed the consultative group meeting in Paris. This results in sourcing the funds for the National Recovery Strategy Program in 2002 and 2005. Ladies and gentlemen, Ambassador Kona Kroma has authored 2 books on development management published in 2024, named Development Policy, Governance in Africa and Beyond. Ambassador Kona Kroma was one of the 2 female members in President Bio's transitional team and the only female member of President's advisory team. Ladies and gentlemen, she is a distinguished public servant, an adventurous academia, and an astute politician. I have the honor, ladies and gentlemen, she is also a recipient of the Grand Officer of the Order of the Rokel 2008 for her contribution to national development. Ladies and gentlemen, Ambassador Dr. Cecilia Kona Kroma. Ladies and gentlemen, for history and academic promotion in the nation of Sierra Leone, this award is going to Professor Joedi Ali. Professor Joedi Ali is widely acclaimed as one of Sierra Leone's foremost historians and scholars, a figure whose contribution to historical scholarship, educational leadership, peace and studies, and national discourse has earned him an enduring place in the intellectual life of our nation. A product of Farabe College, University of Sierra Leone, where he earned his Bachelor of Arts honors and Master of Arts in Modern History. Professor Ali went on to complete his doctoral studies in philosophy, in history, and a certificate in African Studies at the University of Wisconsin-Madison, USA. He also studied education at the former Milton Magai College in Freetown. Ladies and gentlemen, beyond academia, Professor Ali served as a member of the Monument and Relics Commission of Sierra Leone, chairman of Board of Governors for the Society for Peace Studies and Practices in Sierra Leone, head of the country's research team for the African Center for Development and Strategic Studies, a united UNDP-supported initiative. His published work remain among the most authoritative and widely used sources of Sierra Leone history and include A New History for Sierra Leone, 1990, Sierra Leone Since Independence History and Post-Colonial State, an outline political history of Sierra Leone, 1961 to 2007, and most recently, the January 6, 1999 invasion of Freetown, a strategic atrocity and its consequences for Sierra Leone. He's contributed significantly to peace building through research. In 2006, the government of Sierra Leone honored Professor Ali with Commander of the Order of Rokel. Ladies and gentlemen, I have the privilege to bring on stage Professor Joedi Ali. Ladies and gentlemen, the next award is presented to a distinguished personality. He's not here, but the Ministry of Finance is here to represent him and receive the award on his behalf. This next award, ladies and gentlemen, is going to Mr. Matthew Dingy. Matthew Dingy is a Sierra Leonean Financial Secretary, Principal Advisor on Economic and Financial Policy to both the Minister of Finance and the Government of Sierra Leone. Matthew Dingy entered the civil service in February 2002 as Budget Analyst in Budget Bureau of the Ministry of Finance. Recognized for his exceptional capabilities, he was appointed Director of Budget in 2007, a position he held with marked effectiveness over a decade. He continued excellence, led to his promotion as Principal Deputy Financial Secretary in 2008, and July 2023 by His Excellency the President as Financial Secretary. In his capacity, Mr. Dingy serves as a member of the boards of governors of various statutory institutions of government. He is an alternate governor representing Sierra Leone on a range of boards and financial institutions, including the World Bank Group, African Development Bank, EDEP, and many other institutions. Mr. Dingy holds a first-class Bachelor of Science degree in Honors in Accounting and Finance from Pearl Abbey College, Masters in Arts in Economics from the University of Toledo, Ohio. He is a Fellow of the Associate Chartered Certified Accountants from UK, a member of the Institute of Chartered Accountants of Sierra Leone. On behalf of Matthew Dingy, may I kindly request the Ministry of Finance, the Deputy Financial Secretary, to come and please receive this award on behalf of Matthew Dingy. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, the next award is going to Major General S.D.T. Gawuja. With distinguished service, bravery, integrity, and commitment to peace and stability of our nation, Major General Sir David Thomas Gawuja, Chief of General Staff of the Republic of Sierra Leone Armed Forces, has demonstrated true leadership in serving the public sector in and out of Sierra Leone. Over his 3 decades of military service in and out of Sierra Leone, General Gawuja not only distinguished himself as an outstanding military officer, but also as one of those whose scarce public sector leadership the country desires. Alongside his courageous and astute military leadership, he led with distinction in planning and the direction of the Situation Room of Ebola COVID-19 response, respectively. After the 2020 prison riot and attempted jailbreak, the leadership was required at Sierra Leone Correctional Service, and a lot fell on him to lead the technical support team and police and military officers to assist the management of the Sierra Leone Correctional Service. The general turned that into an opportunity for reforms of the organizations never to have been seen in the history of our country. Between 2020 and 2024, and serving in the position of Director of Security and Operations, Deputy Director General, and Acting Director General, he ensured the development of a security plan, career development plan, infrastructural plan. He saw the state-of-the-art administrative building, refurbishment and expansion of centers across the country. It's now called the Center of Excellence, Transformation of Correctional Office Training School, Recruitment Plan and Professional Services for over 10-year strategic plan. Brigadier Lieutenant General, Major General Thomas Gawuja consistently distinguished himself as an exceptional leader with remarkable ability to translate strategic vision into transformative and measurable impact. His career has been defined by undoubtedly commitment to sustainable development, professionalism. Therefore, in recognition of this distinguished contribution and others not mentioned here, the government of the people of Sierra Leone presents, and the Ministry of Public Administration and the leadership present Major General Sir David Gawuja for conferment of this award. Major General Sir David Thomas Gawuja. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, this award is going to Dr. Walton Ekundayo Gilpin for public-private interventions. Dr. Gilpin is an accomplished economist, banker, a corporate executive of international distinction, chief executive officer of Rokel Commercial Bank, Sierra Leone's oldest and most storied financial institution. Is widely recognized for his transformative leadership in the bank's recapitalization, modernization, and digital transformation. Prior to his appointment as CEO, by the way, Sierra Leone has a stake in this bank. Before assumption, he served as advisor to the Commonwealth Secretariat in the United Kingdom, where he managed financial and debt restructuring initiatives. At the helm of Rokel Bank, Dr. Gilpin spearheaded the restructuring and transformation of the institution, expanded its banking services, ATM network, and digital transformation platforms, increased operating capital to exceed the regulatory capitalization requirement, grew the bank's branch, and serving outlets network nationwide. A result-oriented leader committed to sustainable growth innovation within the public-private partnerships, Dr. Gilpin was honored with a special U.S. Congressional Commendation Award in 2023 for his contribution to finance, banking, and leadership. Ladies and gentlemen, Dr. Walton Ekundayo Gilpin. Ladies and gentlemen, the next award goes to Mr. Ira Nyake Amara. Mr. Ira Nyake Amara is a distinguished banker, educator, and institutional leader with over 37 years of experience across financial and educational sector. He is currently the chairman of the board of directors of the Sierra Leone Commercial Bank, where he brings to this role a wealth of knowledge drawn from a career spanning banking, teaching, and corporate governance. Mr. Amara received his early education at the government practicing school Maboroka. He began his professional life as a teacher, lecturer, serving as St. Joseph from 1973 to 1980. He served as a senior banking officer and head of department of the Sierra Leone Bank of Sierra Leone, and as Director of Administration and Finance at YFM Nigeria. From 2011 to 2017, he has served as Head of Administration and General Service at the then Union Trust Bank. Beyond his primary career, Mr. Amara has served as Chairman, Board of Directors, Cambui Holdings, NASIT, Board Member of the Sierra Leone Housing Corporation, SALHOC, and the National Minerals Agency, a member of the Council of Eastern Technical University. Ladies and gentlemen, I bring to you Mr. Ira Nyake Amara for an award. Ladies and gentlemen, our next award goes to Dr. Amara Jambai. Dr. Amara Jambai is one of Sierra Leone's most eminent public health leaders who has served for 37 years of distinguished service in the Ministry of Health and Sanitation, which have made him a towering figure in the country's health sector, widely recognized for his leadership in disease surveillance, outbreak response, and national health system strengthening. Dr. Jambai has been at the forefront of response to some of its most severe public health emergencies, including Ebola crisis and the recurrent cholera outbreak. He began his career as a house officer, medical officer at the Princess Christian Maternity Hospital, and subsequently served as district medical officer in several districts. He later served as Director of Disease Prevention and Control, Chairman of the Rollback Malaria Campaign, Chairman of Expanded Program on Immunization, Deputy Chief Medical Officer, please listen, Chief Medical Officer. He served as Chairman of the National COVID Response and as Deputy Minister of Health and Sanitation. Dr. Jambai holds a degree in medicine from the University of Romania, a diploma from London School of Hygiene and Tropical Medicines, and a Master of Public Health in developing countries from the same university. Ladies and gentlemen, this is a man that started his career as a civil servant, public servant, and a politician. Ladies and gentlemen, I have the honor to bring to you Dr. Amara Jambai. Ladies and gentlemen, this next award goes to a popular civil servant who is now a politician also. I have the honor to introduce Mr. Augustine Sir Sheku. Augustine Sir Sheku is a seasoned public sector management consultant, career civil servant, community leader of wide experience, currently serving as the chairman of Connaught District Council, a role in which he has brought full weight of his administrative expertise to bear to the service of his people. A native of Sao Chiefdom in Connaught District, he entered the civil service in 1986 as a higher executive officer and was appointed Assistant Secretary in 1989. Over the course of his distinguished career, spanning more than 3 decades, he served across many government ministries, departments, and agencies, rising from the position of Permanent Secretary in 2006, Senior Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Trade and Industry, from which he retired in 2022. He also served as Executive Secretary of the Justice Kawan Constitutional Review Committee. Following his retirement from the civil service, Mr. Sheku transitioned from a distinguished career as a professional administrator to the area of an elected public officer, becoming the chairman of Connaught District Council in 2023. Among his most notable achievements in his role as oversight in development of the launch of the Connaught District Strategic Plan 2024 to 2030. Ladies and gentlemen, please help me welcome Augustine Sir Sheku. Ladies and gentlemen, the award I'm going to announce was to be received today anxiously by somebody who waited for this period. I spoke to him on the phone, and he was very excited to be here to receive this award as part of his service to the nation. So we are going to receive this posthumously. Ladies and gentlemen, Honorable Justice Abel Nathaniel Bankole Strong. Honorable, this award will be received by Justice Jasmine E.L. Cole. Justice Jasmine E.L. King. She will be receiving this award. Let me go through his citations. Honorable Justice Abel Nathaniel Bankole Strong is one of Sierra Leone's most distinguished legal and parliamentary figures, a jurist, statesman whose career encompassed service in all three of the nation's principal branches of government, the judiciary, legislature, and the national administration. Awarded the National Honor of Justice of Commonwealth in recognition for his distinguished judicial service, Honorable Justice Strong remained a respected and notable figure in Sierra Leone's legal and political history. His areas of expertise encompass constitutional law, judicial administration, parliamentary procedures, governance and public policy, and legislative affairs and the rule of law. Ladies and gentlemen, to receive on behalf of the family, I bring you Justice Jasmine E.L. King to receive this award for late Honorable Justice Abel Nathaniel Bankole Strong. Ladies and gentlemen, I've just been informed that we can recognize a minute of silence for two individuals, Justice Abel Strong and a colleague, a member of the public service family who passed away, I think, a day or two ago, late Morrison Boyo. Can we just stand and observe a minute of silence for these departed souls? May their souls rest in perfect peace. Amen. Please be seated. Ladies and gentlemen, I believe in anticipation to receive this award, the awardee called me yesterday to say, because he was anticipating strongly to be here, he fell and he could not be here today. So we are giving this award in absentia, but the name is a common name and a household name in this nation. Ladies and gentlemen, this award is going to Canon Akiwande Josiah Lashite, local and international Old Boys Association, to support the school's aspiration. In recognition of his outstanding contribution to education in Sierra Leone, Canon Lashite was awarded Officer of the Order of the Rokel in 2014. He is remembered as a transformational educational leader. Ladies and gentlemen, in absentia is Canon Akiwande Josiah Lashite. Ladies and gentlemen, at the foremost in the Ministry of Health, the leadership, the nursing department, we are privileged to announce our next awardee is Dr. Patricia Barr, Chief Nursing and Midwifery Officer in the Ministry of Health. Patricia Barr is one of Sierra Leone's most distinguished nursing administrators, a senior health professional whose career in Ministry of Health and Sanitation. Beginning her career as a nurse, Dr. Barr ascended through the ranks to assume senior leadership role of highest responsibility, overseeing the nursing and midwifery policy standards and strategic direction across the health sector. She has contributed significantly, substantially, to the health force development reforms in nursing education in Sierra Leone. Her work has encompassed management and coordination adolescent health initiatives within the ministry. She has made significant contribution to national health policy and strategies. Among her many contributions, ladies and gentlemen, Dr. Ba is especially commended for her advocacy for improved nursing professionalism and discipline in health facilities. Her promotion of strong midwifery training to improve maternal and neonatal health outcomes, and her strategic leadership in school health, adolescent health, and national health. She is currently serving as the Chief Nursing and Midwifery Officer in the Ministry of Health. Ladies and gentlemen, I bring to you Dr. Patricia Ba. Ladies and gentlemen, the next award is going to Lieutenant General Retired Brahima Sise. Lieutenant General Retired Brahima Sise is one of the Republic of Sierra Leone's armed forces' most distinguished military leaders, a soldier and a public servant with over 34 years career spanning for a very long time. Lieutenant General Sise military career encompassed a remarkable breadth of command and staff appointment for platoon commander to apex position of Chief of Defense Staff of the Sierra Leone Armed Forces. In the intervening years, he served as adjutant, company commander, military assistant, aide-de-camp, second in command and commanding officer of the Joint Logistics Unit, deputy chief of staff at the Joint Forces Headquarters, commander of the 4th Infantry Brigade in Makeni, director of professionals at the Ministry of Defense, chief of staff at the Headquarters Joint Force Command, commander of the 3rd Infantry Brigade at Tima Barracks, Moritown, and assistant chief of defense staff for operation and plans at the Ministry of Defense. Ladies and gentlemen, upon his retirement from the Sierra Leone Armed Forces in July, His Excellency appointed him, Lieutenant General Sise, to serve as the pioneer Director General of the National Disaster Management Agency, a role he discharged with characteristic commitment until his retirement from public service in November 2025. His honors include Ministerial Award for Meritorious and Dedicated Service to Colors, Military Officer of the Year 2017, Distinguished Aluminium Star of the National Defense College, Abuja, and Grand Commander of the local. Ladies and gentlemen, I bring you Lieutenant General Retired Brahima Sise. Ladies and gentlemen, the other award is going to Mr. Bokari Momofo. Mr. Bokari Momofo is a devoted and long-serving career civil servant whose professional life was dedicated principally to Cabinet Secretariat and the senior administrative machinery of government of Sierra Leone. He commenced his career as an administrative officer in the Cabinet Secretariat. Through the years of diligent and faithful service, rose to the position of Assistant to the Secretary to Cabinet and Head of the Civil Service, a role that placed him at the very center of government decision-making and executive coordination. In 2026, he was transferred to the Ministry of Social Welfare and subsequently to the Human Resource Management Office, broadening his administrative reach across the public service. His career culminated in his appointment as Principal Assistant to the Secretary to the President in the Office of the President, a position he held with same quiet professionalism that had defined his service throughout. Before his retirement from public service, Mr. Momofo served 5 regimes during his distinguished career, a testament to the confidence successive government placed in his integrity, reliability, and institutional knowledge. On behalf of Mr. Bokari Momofo, who would have loved to be here, ladies and gentlemen, I bring to you Mr. Patrick Kawa, who is going to receive this award on behalf of Bokari Momofo. Mr. Kawa, please, let's put our hands together. The military, that one was too short. I don't know. Maybe you give me the meaning later, but I want to know. All right. So let's move. The last award for tonight is going to a female, a lady, Mrs. Fatmata Mustafa, civil servant, an administrator, and former permanent secretary. Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Labor and Social Security. Mrs. Fatmata Mustafa is a renowned civil servant who joined the service in the early 90s as administrative officer. She progressed through the ranks until she attained the enviable position of Permanent Secretary. She served in various ministries, departments, and agencies, contributing to various reforms within the public service. She later serves as Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Labor and Social Security, where she has contributed to national policy implementation, labor administration reforms. She is known within the government circles for her role in supporting labor policy, discussions, and interministerial coordination on workforce and employment issues. Mrs. Mustafa is one of the few females that have attained the position of Permanent Secretary and is regarded as part of Sierra Leone's experienced administrative leadership that has contributed to the governance through civil service, professionalism, and reforms in labor sector and public administration. Ladies and gentlemen, there is somebody to receive the award on her behalf. We present this award to Mrs. Fatimata Mustafa in absentia. On behalf of the Planning Committee, we want to thank the Chief Minister and the Minister for presenting these awards. Ladies and gentlemen, let's clap for the Chief Minister. Thank you very much. Honorable Minister, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, we are about to end this program, but we are now kindly calling on the Peace Ambassador to crystallize this presentation. Ladies and gentlemen, he's here in the room with us this afternoon. Shady. The Shady baby. Where is our Peace Ambassador, please? Where is our Peace Ambassador? The Shady baby. Let's put our hands together for him. Peace Ambassador.
Shady baby vibe with me. Yeah.
It's Royal Music.
Baby girl.
Mic test 1 2. Mic test 1 2. Hello sir. I can link this one.
Come there.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Mr. Toure, your new peace ambassador. And I think it's a blessing to be in your midst. And before going forward, I would like to pay my respect to our Chief Minister, Dr. Moinina Sengeh, to the host, Honorable Mr. Kalon, Minister of Public Administration and Political Affairs. And the list goes on. Suleiman Fore Musa, to Mr. Kalilu Oba, Dr. Ansu Toka, Mr. Baba Fortune, the Secretary to the President, and to our able IG, Mr. Fayaselo. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm not just here to perform, because I think that's the normal thing you know me for. But before performing, today I would love to talk about a little bit about peace to you guys. Just give me 2 minutes. Along the way, I'm going to be, I was not born with English, but I'm going to make sure I talk to you in English, because whenever I find myself in a dignitary place, I'll make sure I try to express myself the best way I can. So, let's talk about peace. Peace cannot be given to you if you don't have peace within. Peace starts from within. So in order for us to be able to give peace to other people, we have to first generate peace inside. So we all know, fast approaching the election, we have to be prepared for what's coming. We have to be prepared for what's coming. And I would love to throw light on the other side of peace. We have to get the women involved, the youth. In order for us to have a sustainable peace, we have to empower these people. It's about time we start doing things alongside the women and the youth. These people are not backbenchers. Let me just hold on to the time, and no time is running out. And I just want to say, let peace reign. So can you repeat after me? Let peace reign. Let peace reign. Let me go back to my kind of thing you know me for. Just a little performance, okay? So selector, if you're set, give me the tune.
Yeah. Shady baby vibe with me. Yeah.
It's Royal Music.
Baby girl. Baby girl. Look how you made it. Baby girl, you're the only one I need. Look how you made it. Oh, girl, because you know now you are one. Look how you made it. Any other girl that feel like shadow. Baby, give me love, make you rotate. Cause baby girl, look how you made it. Baby girl, make it come closer. Your body fire, you they give me fever. Every time we step in at the corner, all man then they look, then they wonder. I know they play, I know they pretend. Now your lover they represent. If them ask me who be my mate, I go tell them you know me, babe. No competition, no comparison. You be my peace, my motivation. If I get last cash in my pocket, girl I go kill you for. Look how you made it. Baby girl, you the only one now. Look how you made it. All over the world, now you are one. Look how you made it. Nobody say no, cause baby girl, your body fine, no worry about the drama. Look how you made it. Girl, you don't say me not you. From you smile, me I got to choose. Anywhere you go, me they close. Me not share you that I no pose. Girl, me love you slow, me love you true. Baby, so no girl can take you place. Me now run the street, me now rotate. Girl, you alone. Look how you made it. Look how you made it. Baby girl, you the only one now. Look how you made it. Dance with me till the morning. Look how you make it, look how you make it. Baby girl, you only one now. Look how you make it, look how you make it. Now your love, they give me hope. Baby, dance with me till the morning.
Yes, I. Okay, selector, give me the tune. Let's go.
Vintage Point.
My girl, no long talk with jubilating. Too many bottles we're celebrating, yeah. Spread love, forget the hating. My girl, I love you, don't know how you rate me, yeah. You know, say, we don't take, we don't pray for make this love your lead. We don't say, we don't take, we don't pray for make this love your lead. SMIO, stop only 18 minutes, love your lead. SMIO, stop only 18 minutes, love your lead. SMIO, 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 SMIO. This one rise up for peace and unity, yeah. Not only one that's go able set we free, yeah. So make we spread no flow and no money, yeah. Cause society gon' go so to begin. Me and you, we not been there. Cause society gon' go so to begin. Me and you, yo. So we go to them, Tabadan, Tabana. We look for you, sky high flying harder than Odaland, Fatherland, Saloon, Milan. And this are you, they make you anagram. American girl, them want to love me. Salon girl, them only got me. The London girl, them want to touch me. But I'm a fit down girl, them only run this side. You love me, put a bite. Between me and you love me, go testify.
DJ, ladies and gentlemen, once again, let's peace reign, okay? Your peace ambassador, Shitty Baby. I'm out.
Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, please, awardees, please stay. There is a photo session. Dr. Walton, please. Dr. Gilpin, please, a minute. You can wait. There is a photo session. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of the Planning Committee, the leadership of the Public Service, the Minister of Public Administration and Political Affairs, I want to use this opportunity to thank our guest speaker, the Chief Minister, for leaving all his busy schedules to be here with us today to celebrate our outstanding and distinguished awardees. We want to say thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, let's just put our hands together for Chief Minister. Thank you. Thank you. To all MDAs, heads of institutions, permanent secretaries present here, we want to say thank you for your support and your leadership. Ladies and gentlemen, we cannot go without thanking the leadership of the public service. Is important. The leadership of the public service headed by the Secretary to President and all the leadership team, the head of civil service, Chairman Public Service Commission, Director General HRMO, we want to say thank you for your support. Without you, there would have been no Public Service Day celebration. Thank you and God bless you. Let's put a big hand for them. We want to thank our government ministers here, deputy government ministers and deputies. We thank you. I believe it's because you believe in the vision of His Excellency the President. That is why you are here celebrating with us the 5th pillar in the medium-term National Development Plan. Thank you and God bless you. To our military and police, We have seen you since Friday, Saturday, you've been with us. We thank you for your support, for your coordination, and may God bless you. To our esteemed guests, it's been unique, it's been a privilege, and we want to say that next year it will be bigger and greater. Thank you for coming, and God bless you all. On that note, may I quickly ask the Chief Minister to come forward for photo opportunities. Please, CM is going to have a photo with all awardees. Please, awardees, please come on stage. You're going to have a photo with the Chief Minister. All awardees, please, to the stage. A special photo with the Chief Minister, and all ministers here will be having a photo with the Chief Minister also. Please, awardees. Uncle? All awardees, please. Awardees, please. You represent, I don't tell her. And also, I don't represent.